Hey everyone, it's Chris and welcome back to the Ridge. Today, we're unboxing our brand new Predator 5000 inverter generator, and we're putting it straight to the test. How loud will it be? Will it start right out of the box? And most importantly, is it something we can rely on when the power goes out this winter? Let's fire it up and find out. Join us.
Sweet Maple Ridge Farms. Come on down, everybody. Go!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Now, we are going to get this thing unboxed, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with it. But first, let me go over a couple stats here. So it is a dual fuel. It runs on gasoline and propane. Here in the Ridge, we're going to be running this on gasoline. This has a 224cc engine, 18 hours of runtime on a full gas tank. They claim it operates at 61.7 decibels just while operating. I don't know if that means at its highest RPM or whatever, but 61.7 we can all agree is fairly quiet. 5,000 starting watts, max starting watts, and it will maintain 3,900 running watts. It does have the ESC control that will cause the generator to power down when there's no load on it, so it's just going to sip fuel. And then this thing comes in, has a shipping weight at right around 123 pounds. Might be a little bit less once we remove it from the box and packaging, but right around 120 pounds is what this thing is going to be. So let's get this thing unboxed. We have our instruction manual here, quick start guide. Quick start guide and the owner's manual. It looks like there's just a couple grommets here. Okay, we have a battery charger. We have the propane apparatus, which appears pretty straightforward. Plug this into the side of the generator, put this in your propane tank, and bam. Although we're not going to be using propane. We have the remote. The remote is a big reason that we bought this. And then we have the wrench for the spark plug. Packaging seems really nice. Looks like they took care when they did this. All right. Let's see if I can get this thing out of the package by myself. Okay, so yeah, it's got a little weight to it, but okay, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. I got this out of the package all by myself. So we replaced our Furman generator that we bought at Costco. We replaced that with this. That generator that we got at Costco weighed over 210 pounds, something like that. It was so loud. It didn't power what we wanted to, even though it did power our pellet stove and a couple other small items, but it did not power our refrigerator, even though it should have based upon the wattage. And that Furman generator that we bought from Costco, it also wasn't an inverter generator, so I didn't want to plug any kind of sensitive equipment into it because it might blow it up. So we took that thing back to Costco because Costco does unlimited returns, and we're very thankful for that. So with that return and that refund that we got, we went ahead and bought this one, and this is going to be our whole home, if you wanted to put it that way, generator. We're going to use this to power our refrigerator and our TV. We're going to use it to have our pellet stove going because that is our main heat source here on Sweet Maple Ridge. All right, guys, I'll show you just a couple things about this generator here. So it is on wheels. It's pretty nice. Okay, so getting down here, we do have an electric start and stop. We have the gasoline and propane selector, or that's where the propane goes in. We have our outlets. We have our RV connection. A couple resets. We do have a USB or a DC connection here. We have USB port for the new connection and the old style. And we have an overload reset. And of course we have the outlets here, the parallel outlets, so you can hook up a generator this exact size and you can run them in parallel. We have the ESC throttle up here. The ESC throttle will cause the engine to wind down when there's no load on it. Then of course we have the carbon monoxide shut off and the battery on and off switch. So let's get this thing filled with oil and gas and let's get this thing going. All right, guys, I also want to point out that there's a wheel lock here too. So keep the wheels from going, and then you can unlock them. And this has 4 wheels, unlike our Furman generator that only had 2. We're gonna get gas put in this thing. We're gonna put some oil in it. And this does have a gas filter. Okay, so we got it filled up with gas. Got that on there. Okay, now we are going to add oil, and we're also going to check the air filter to make sure it has enough oil on the foam there. This is not the engine oil fill in here. This is. It is labeled with oil. So we're going to go ahead and fill this up. And for the engine oil, this is what we're looking to get it to do. Okay, so we got the oil filled up. You can see that's exactly where we want it to be. We're going to replace this. Next, we are going to connect the battery. And one thing we're going to do, guys, is pull out the air filter and make sure it has some lubrication in there. Wow, that's a pretty small air filter. All right, so we're going to put a little bit of lubrication on that thing just to make sure it doesn't suck up anything funky. All right, so what I have is just a Ziploc bag with some oil, light oil in there. I'm going to take this and just kind of move it around and let this foam Okay, so we have gas in it, we have oil in it. Here's the battery. We're going to replace this. Okay. All right, so we have this thing outside. We're about ready to start this up for the very first time. Now, I'm going to pull start this for the first time just because that's what I want to do, and I want to know how many starts or how many pulls it's going to take to start for the first time. So put down in the comments how many you think it's going to take. And then once we get it started up and we get it kind of going a little bit, I'll turn it off, and then we will use the electric start. We're going to put this on the gasoline selection. Okay, so if you want to pull start it, you need to manually choke it. So the choke override is here, that is. And so there it is. So run and start. I'm going to go ahead and put the choke over to the start position. All right, let's get this thing going. I figured that because we were manually starting it, we wouldn't have to have the engine battery on, but it turns out that we do, according to the instructions. So we're going to turn that on, and we're going to see what happens. Oh, there we go. It's running at idle right now. It's super quiet. We're just gonna let it run in idle for a little bit just to kind of get things going. All right, guys, so far I'm super impressed by this thing. It's quiet, not a lot of vibration, and for it being a 5,000 watt starting watt generator, I'm really impressed with just how quiet it is. So what we're gonna do now is shut it off, and then we're gonna use the electric start option and see how that goes. And then we'll start it, we'll turn it off again, and then we'll use the remote. Okay, so in order to turn it off, you just hit the off switch here on the battery switch. We're gonna turn that back on, and then we're going to hit the engine start button twice, and we'll see if it starts. Just like that. Now I'm gonna grab the remote, and we're gonna try to start it that way. Okay, so I have the remote here. I'm gonna press the off button, see what that does. Okay, looking good so far. Now, in order to start this back up, we're gonna hit the start button twice, right here. And let's see what happens. Okay, so I guess I was hitting the start button too quickly. You kind of got to hold it for maybe a second, and then hold it for another second, and then it will start. But that's pretty sweet. Now, they say that this remote start will work up to 100 feet. Okay, so we're here at the 5,000, and I'm going to demonstrate how useful the ESC is. That's the electronic engine control that lowers the RPMs when there's no demand on the engine and raises the RPMs to meet an electrical load or a demand. So I'm going to plug the skill saw in. So you can hear how quiet it is right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and activate the skill saw, and you'll see how the engine ramps up in order to meet that electrical demand. So there's a clear advantage there over models like the Furman that we bought from Costco that just runs 100% of the time. That thing is eating fuel like crazy. This thing is just using as little fuel as it needs in order to do what it needs to do. All right, guys, so after the first run here, we're gonna go ahead and change the oil. I don't have an extra spark plug right now for this, but what I would also do is change the spark plug too. Anyway, all right, we are going to go ahead and take all the engine oil out of here. We're gonna replace it. In order to change this oil, I am gonna be using this syringe thing. I got this off of Amazon. I was kind of skeptical about it, but this is pretty nice. I'm not gonna use the engine drain, the oil drain, although it does have one here. You're still gonna make a mess. It's still oil. It's still gonna, get everywhere. But, all right. I'm gonna take this out. And that's what the engine oil looks like. So it is, for only running just a little bit, it is pretty dirty. So that's why I think it's important to just replace this. I am looking in here, and there's definitely metal shavings. I'm confident you're not gonna be able to see that in here. Not a lot of metal. But there definitely is. There's some bubbles in there, sure. But there's definitely some metal shavings in there. So we're gonna get rid of that, and we're gonna replace this oil. Now, the manual calls for 10W30. Anyway, guys, so that's it. That's the video. If you want to be an OG mapler like these amazing folks listed here, and you want to continue learning how to rely less and create more from high atop the Allegheny Plateau, please like and subscribe. And guys, we'll see you next time out on the ridge.